Hello everyone and welcome to lesson 2 of my DCS Hornet Academy. Today we're going to be talking about what you get presented with when you first launch the game as far as menus and what is available. So and before we get started, I want to just briefly mention something that I forgot in lesson 1, which was the difference between the two main versions of DCS, which are the DCS stable version and the DCS open beta version. So the main difference between them is that, well, the stable version, as implied by the name, is a more stable version with less bugs, but everything takes longer to get to it and it doesn't get updated as often. Whereas the DCS open beta is a perpetual open beta, meaning everybody's allowed to, um, use it, but it's all continuously being updated and there may be bugs. Generally, there's not too many bugs, and the main advice that is given, if you're going to play single player, go with the stable, and if you're going with multiplayer, go with the open beta. I'm not sure why, because I would just go with the open beta because I would want to get all the latest feature anyways. But when you join a server, the for multiplayer, the version of DCS of the server and each of the clients have to be exactly the same or the server will not work. So just something to keep in mind when you go and click that download button for DCS, go and click the open beta and make sure you get the open beta. It's kind of as simple as that. Forget about the stable. Alright, so now moving on to this screen, which is what you get presented with when you first log in. You do have to log in, and it does connect online. If you click this button right here, it will say offline mode, and I'm sure many things won't work. I have never tried it, but anyways. This little thing is just the latest news, and then each of these at the bottom are modules. So the modules, as we discussed in lesson 1, are either aircraft, typically, or maps, and they are generally paid modules. So for example, my first one here is the Nevada. It gives a brief description and you can set it as wallpaper. Each of these have a wallpaper that you can change to suit your needs, and some of the mods also do have like the Bronco, for example, is a mod, is a turbine, twin turbine, aircraft from the Vietnam era, and it has its own page, right? So if I click here, set as wallpaper, it's this aircraft right here, and yeah, so the A4 is also a mod, and what I do is I click here and I click on set wallpaper, and you can see set the wallpaper. Uh, combine arms is also one of those modules we talked about, is to control ground units. I highly recommend it. And so on and so forth. You can browse through here. These are all the modules that I have. The ones that are grayed out, such as, oops, no, I don't want to buy it, are either not installed or you haven't bought it. So the F-15E, for example, I have not bought. The F-16C I have bought, but I don't have it installed. So that's that. All right, let's go and click this F-18 because that's what this course is about. The majestic, beautiful F-18. All right, going from top left. So you'll see here this little 2, that's notification saying that you have probably modules that can be installed. So the first one is special offers, it's just marketing stuff. The next one is modules. You click on modules, and the ones you don't have, you can buy either through the game, and it will probably take you to the website, and or from the website. You can buy them from the website and install them on here. As you can see, I have most of them. It looks like, I don't know. So the only one I doesn't looks like I don't have is the A10, and then available DLC. If you click on that, you can go campaigns. The ones you don't have are buy, and pretty sure that, yeah, all of these are just campaigns that I could buy. As you can see, most of them are in sale, um, and most of them are under $10, $12 that we had talked about. If I go to terrains, the South Atlantic, then the Normandy map. I actually have the Normandy map. I don't have the 2.0. So anyways, you get the point. If you don't have it, you can buy it. So I am actually probably will pick up this map at 50% discount on this sale. And then the most, probably the most important one that you're going to use the most is this installed one. So this one is where if you click on these green buttons, you'll see that they're all installed. These are all the modules that I have installed, and many of them are, for example, the F-22 Raptor or the Eurofighter. These are mods, and they appear here as modules, but all the ones that have a check mark, you can click here, you can remove module by deleting it, so it frees up space. Like if you're not using it and you want to free up some space. So pretty much everything is installed except in my case it's the F-16, I'm pretty sure, and I don't know where that is. Um, that's a good point. I think it doesn't even show up if it's not installed. But yeah, you can basically uninstall and install modules pretty simply. Um, this is my campaigns. I have these. I have 3 campaigns here that we're going to talk about. But this is where you install them. Same thing. And here's the terrains, all the different terrains. All right. So that's module management. So you can click out of this, and that was this first little these 9 squares, right? The next and only really important button up here is the options. So you click on options. The first one is system. This is where you put all your graphics settings. I'm not going to go through it. I have mine set on ultra. Everything is pretty much maxed out. High. I don't think I can go higher than high. So there you go. Ooh, I have some extreme ones. But anyways, so this is where you do that. The controls we're going to talk about. This is where you set up your controls, and we're going to go over that in lesson 3. So I'm not going to go over it right now, but that's where you find it. Gameplay is various options, difficulty options, F10 options. These are things that would apply to all of the missions that you try to get into if it allows it. For example, a typical one is Immortal. If you click Immortal, like you will not crash. When you crash, you won't die, or when you get shot, you won't die. Now, most servers will not allow Immortal. So if on a server mission or any mission, this is not clicked, then it will override and it will not allow you to be immortal. So these are basically, from my understanding, you know, things that will override the mission if the mission allows it. Kind of like no labels, right? MISC is just various other options, like again, continuing on that. I'm not going to go through that. There's nothing really much to talk about. I never really mess with this anyways. Audio is, well, audio. Not going to go into that either. It's all kind of self-explanatory. Make sure you have your audio set up properly. Special is an interesting one. It's basically module-specific settings. So if I go to the F-18, you can click here. It says realistic TDC, or you can have a customized cockpit, which I should have. I thought I did have that. Let me click that. Okay. See, I thought this is a custom cockpit that I have for the F-18 based on the Canadian thing. And then you got your VR settings, right? So let's click OK, and that's that. Now let's go to the right. So you can see it's a pretty simple menu, nothing crazy. Instant action. Here you got all your modules, and for each of the modules, for example, let's go to the F-18. You will have your instant action missions such as cold and dark, ready, free flight, river run, case 1 carrier landing, weapons practice, gauntlet, close air support, so on and so forth. So, and you can choose uh, different maps. And so, if you wanna, this is meant to be just preset missions that for each of the aircraft that you can go and fly. Create fast mission. I'm not sure. This is basically, if you don't want to mess with the mission editor, you go here, you say, okay, how many enemies do you want, what aircraft, country, blah, 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 and it'll make a probably a very simple and boring mission that, but you can always try it if you don't want to mess with the mission editor. But since in this course, we are going to teach you mission editor in lesson 4, as one of the very first things, you're not going to need to use this. Mission. If you go to missions, these are basically, missions that are loaded into your missions folders. Um, I think many of these could be like from campaigns or default missions and so on and so forth, and you can go and run those missions. Campaigns, same thing. For example, let's go look at F18. I have these. For example, Raven 1 is, you know, I at the time I wanted to learn the Hornet really well before I went in this, and I wanted to read the book, which I did now. Raven 1 is a great book that the campaign is based on, and it's rated as pretty much the top campaign for DCS, or one of the top for sure. Highly encourage you guys to go and grab campaigns once you've learned your aircraft, because they're tough. Some of them can be tough. That's that. And then multiplayer. This is gonna be pretty important for if you want to go into multiplayer. So you click on it, and all the servers pop up, and you can filter here by password or map or anything like that. But for example, if I type in gray flag, it will filter the gray flag persistent campaign servers. You can see there's 20 people right now on the Persian Gulf. It's the most popular right now, and yeah, great multiplayer servers out there. This is where you put in your nickname that is going to show up in game when you log into a server. This is to connect by IP directly to a server instead of searching the name. And if you click on a new server, this is where you would basically, put in your information and what do you call it? Basically, create your own mission, your own server. So, and we'll probably go into that into more detail later. All right, so let's go back here, and so logbook. I don't even know what this is. I don't know if I've ever even looked at this. Okay, so it says I have 132 hours. I have 1 hour on nighttime. Oh, I thought I had more than that. 214 landings, 23 ejections, 43 air refuelings, 59 air-to-ground kills, 45 air-to-air kills, 32 naval kills, 55 deaths. Okay, and apparently I started in what is this, January of 2022. Interesting. I never looked at this before. Very cool. Oh, and this is just in the F-18. Okay, like F-14, I just started flying. It doesn't even show anything. Interesting. Anyways, that's that. Encyclopedia. I don't know if I've even clicked on this. Oh yeah, there you go. This is one of the mods. It's the right flyer. Anyways, so this is where you can go and read about planes like the A4, another mod that you can grab, and all the different AI airplanes like the B2, and learn about that stuff. So then training. So here again, you always go by what aircraft. So here, these are actually very good. And what I would suggest is once you've done a course, a lesson with me here, for example, the cold start. I have a cold start lesson. I am going to reference this cold start tutorial from Eagle Dynamics. WAGS does a lot of these tutorials, and they're very good. They're official, and they're slow, and some of them are slow and very detailed, and you're not going to go into that. They're not always the most practical. So, but they're good because it's like by the book, and so I will reference them, um, and in the appropriate um, um, lesson, right? So that's all there is for trainings. Replay is basically to replay your tracks. So here's all my tracks. You can go in and replay tracks. It's a little buggy. Campaign builder, I've never really messed with that. And then mission editor is where we're going to talk about that in lesson 4 in detail. That's where you're going to do your mission. Um, so that's all I wanted to say about the menu. And let's just say as a the only things I ever really do is go to settings, because some settings you can only do like on this without, not in game, but here. So that's the thing you're gonna use the most. The other thing you're gonna use is the what I use is multiplayer to join servers, and the mission editor to create missions and then launch my own mission. And of course campaigns, if you want to do a campaign. But that's literally the only things I use on this menu. So hopefully that helped, and it gave you a good overview of the DCS menu. And now we can then see you in the next lesson, lesson number 3, which is going to go over the hardware requirements for DCS and the keybinds, which are essential to be able to do any type of, you know, uh, flying to high levels. And hopefully this quote unquote boring part of the course will be over soon, and we will be able to actually get in the air. But these are important things. It's what a lot of new players and new pilots to DCS will be wondering about. And I guess this is the opportunity to say one of the reasons that I'm creating this course is because, yeah, you could say it's in some ways, it's to not repeat myself like 1,000 times on, hey, this is, when somebody asks, how do I bind my key, or where do I go to host a game or something like that. And so what I'll do is I'll just basically point to these videos, be like, there you go, go watch that video. It'll tell you exactly what, the answer to what you're looking for. And then, if you can't find your answer, then come reach out to somebody in DCS um, that plays DCS, and any of the discords or communities, and or go into YouTube and see if there's other videos that cover that subject, and then you can essentially find the answer to the question that you are seeking. Um, so yeah, that's all I wanted to say. I guess one last thing before I end the video is just as far as learning, just the way that I learned when I was first learning DCS, I could say 90% was like self-taught, and the vast majority of things was from videos. So videos such as this one, well, and the ones that are going to come really, um, that actually teach you the systems and how to fly, they are really like they really are very visual. It really teaches you like the vast majority of what you need to know, and it can be self-taught. You just have to find the information, right? The rest of it, then you can go and find somebody to ask. So that's something that definitely encourage everybody. A good student pilot in DCS is one who's eager to go out and find information and learn and read and watch these type of content, so that they can teach themselves, right? So anyways, enough with that blabble, and yeah, we'll see you on lesson 3 to continue this journey with me, to learning the DCS Hornet, and we will be looking at keybinds. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hope this was useful, and welcome to DCS again, and hope to see you guys in the skies. Take care.